Hi everyone, Raphael Harry here, and you're listening to White Label American, a podcast where we hear stories from an immigrant or two, sometimes more. Thank you for listening and enjoy the show. Welcome to another episode of White Label American. Thank you all for joining us today. Before we begin, I would like to acknowledge my Patreons. Thank you all for supporting us and helping us build community. I would like to give a shout out to our newest Patreon, Daquan. Thank you for joining the family. And please, fellow listeners, we need more guys to join us and help us take us to the next level. We have a lot of work we would like to do, and we are nowhere close to achieving what we are trying to achieve. And for those listening who are not able to join on Patreon right now, we understand. And you can still support by liking, sharing, subscribing to this podcast, and giving 5-star ratings and positive reviews on any platform that you listen on, most especially on iTunes, because that's the largest platform and the algorithm will push us up. So yeah, we're about that algorithm life. So that's enough about me and the podcast. Let's jump to today's guest. I have the honor of having Valerie Placide in the studio with us today. She's a dear sister of this podcast. She's a trained bilingual French and English professional. She currently has an amazing immigrant platform, platform that advocates for immigrants on Instagram, and it's a beautiful show that I've had the honor of being a guest on, and it's one of the best shows that you find on Instagram. That's just pure, honest conversations, but with so much to learn. And it's not just limited to immigrants that are within the New York area or United States. You also get to meet immigrants who are outside of United States. And it's not just limited to only her country of birth that she will introduce us to also. So, um, Marie, welcome to the podcast. I was going to say welcome in French, and then I forgot the French I was going to say. So,
yeah. Merci beaucoup. Welcome is bienvenue in French.
Yeah, bienvenue. Bienvenue. I had it up and then I lost it. But yes. So welcome. How you say welcome in your Creole?
Bienvenue. It's French.
Okay,
Creole is like a little transformation of not transformation, but it's more like a
it's French
change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Bienvenue. I like that better.
Yeah, bienvenue.
Mm-hmm. Bienvenue. All right. I use that. Bienvenue. I like that. Mm-hmm. So your names, Marie, Valerie, Placide, it also has a French feeling to it.
Yeah, my name is French.
Okay, so do you know the meanings of your names?
No, there's no meaning. In fact, Marie, Haiti is a very Catholic country. So most of the time you will see people with religious name like Jean, Marie, things like that before their actual name. So it's like your parents give you that name as a protection somehow. But as the time goes by, people don't do that anymore. But for my time, they would make sure that you have your first, what we consider here in the US as a first name. They would make sure that it's Bible names. Just it can protect you. Yeah, it can protect you.
Yeah, it's a common thing amongst the Christian side of Nigeria too.
But Valerie, I've searched it. Somehow Valerie means power. And I feel every time I say that, I feel so powerful, I'm being silly. But Placide, Placide is calm. And when when I search for my last name, in the dictionary, it means calm.
Okay.
Sometimes I'm really not really that calm, but it's like power. I would say it's calm power. If you would have to give it, a
Uh,
meaning, I would say that my name is,
or the power of calmness.
yeah, yeah.
Well,
La force est calme.
I've never tried to put all my names together into
Mhm.
one meaning, because I know the meaning of my names, each one separately, but I've never tried to combine all of them together. And you just gave me that idea now. So
Yeah,
I wonder.
yeah.
Yeah, that's fascinating. That's something I should try. Because yeah, and I know Raphael, I know Owen Life, I know Harry. So
Okay.
it's yeah. I
How many other names you have other than Raphael Harry?
there's a couple. There's a name that there are two names that I have, but the person who gave me the name never existed in my life. So, well,
Mm.
his family gave me the name, and he never existed in my life, and he died
Okay.
last year. So, but I'm told he's my biological father. Yeah, 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 but he never existed in my life, and the person who knows the whole story still gives me different stories every now and then. So I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
can't use a name that never existed. It just came from someone who never existed to me. So yeah,
I understand.
so, but I have a bunch of nicknames. I actually created a nickname that many people still call me by. The people don't even know that my name is Raphael. They don't know me by any of my names. I used to have a book of names. That was my sister's book, and then she lost it to me. And he has a nice way of saying I stole it. But yeah,
I love nicknames too. I have a lot of nicknames too.
but I chose the name Fernando.
Okay.
I think, yeah, Fernando was brave and valiant. Was the same meaning as Ferdinand,
Okay,
and
yeah. Mm-hmm.
and I started calling myself Fernando, and then one teacher named me Fernando Po, which is the capital, or the capital city of Sao Tome and Principe, which
Okay.
I've never been to. It's a small
Mm-hmm.
tiny island just between West Africa and Central Africa. So yeah, um, it's so there are a lot of people who know me as Fernando Po, and there are others who just know me as Fernando. And there are some people, I'm pretty sure that's why they can't find me on Facebook, because they keep searching for Fernando, and they're like, but
That's funny.
if I were to show up in some cities in Nigeria, there are people who just, Fernando, you don't know that guy, Fernando? Like someone came to my house once when I was living in Port Harcourt,
Oh,
and
you lived in I want to
yeah,
visit Port Harcourt.
I hope it, right, you might be, it's a little bit 50-50. You might get kidnapped. That's just the downside of it, but it might not at the same time. That's
I
just,
might get kidnapped.
yes, it's good business now. So it's
Oh wow.
unfortunately.
Like it's similar to
It
Haiti.
started when I was leaving. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
when I was
similar
leaving.
to Haiti. That's what's
So
happening to Haiti right now.
yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
this guy came to our house, and my aunt's house where I was staying at then, and I think that was like 2004, 2003, 2004. And he's like, "Hi, you greet everybody. Everybody was at home that day, and he's like, "Hi, I'm here. I'm looking for Fernando." And my uncle was like, "Who? It's Fernando.
Wrong
Uh,
house.
Fernando, this is his house. Who the hell is Fernando in this house?" And my aunt was just laughing, and she's like, "That is Raphael. Go and call Raphael." I was in the room. Go and call, tell our son, go and call Raphael. Like, Raphael, why they call it Raphael? They say he's looking for Fernando. Go tell him to go to another house. There's no Fernando. No Fernando in this street. F. All the boys, there's no boy named Fernando here. And I come out, hey, what's up, man? He said, Raph, come here. Are you telling people your name is Fernando? I said, that's my nickname. You know what you took? Come, let's go. Let's go. Like,
Yeah, I have
ah,
I don't have full blown name, but I do have pet names like Vavo. My
mhm.
best friends call me Vavo. I have Lulu. I have Vava. Vava since I was born, they've been calling me Vava. So mostly my family, my closest family.
Yeah.
But the one I like the most is Mom. That's the best one.
Ah. Yeah, I guess I'm still getting used to Papa, which is what my
Yeah.
daughter calls me. But actually, there are people who are named Papa. Yeah, I just realized that there's people named Papa. There are people whose
Mm-hmm.
names are Daddy, not Daddy. Daddy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that's the accent. There's Daddy. There was one who he's late now, but his name was Daddy. I don't know his other names, but that was his. The whole neighborhood knew him as Daddy. So
Yeah.
yeah, he'd be like, what are you looking for? I'm looking for Daddy. Ah, Daddy there, yeah. Go find Daddy. Daddy there, yeah. Ah, okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Daddy now defined. Then Papa. That's his name. That's the name. I don't know if that's his real name or that's his nickname, but that's the name. You come to that area, you're like, I'm looking for Papa. Oh, go to that yellow house on the Fifth Street. You make
Yeah.
it. Yeah, you'll find Papa. Everybody knows Papa. That's you think it's a
Right.
young boy. That's a young boy. You see the guy. How did you come up? How did you end up with the name Papa? Yeah, that's what they call me.
Yeah. Right.
But I don't think there was any young person I knew named Mama. So except you had a kid. Now that I think I just thought about it, I don't think there's any young person I knew named Mama. But if there was a young person named Mama, then it's there's something attached. It's like Mama Beans. Like my niece was called Mama Beans because
Okay.
she
Okay.
loved eating
Mm-hmm.
beans, black eyed
Mm-hmm.
peas. She loved the beans porridge as a kid. She didn't like eating rice, jollof. Give me beans. That was it. She eat like two plates, not one, two plates. Any house you go to, if you
Okay.
serve beans, I just like you just make sure there's enough beans, like two. The second serving has to be available. She's down for that. So the nickname was Mama Beans for her because
That's nice.
because every kid is like I
Yeah.
want rice, not yeah, she's like I'm the kid in the corner. I was like you got beans, okay, yeah, let's talk.
So yeah, Rafa, Marie Valerie Placide. It's a French name.
Mhm.
I inherited my grandmother's last name, so which is Placide.
Okay.
They have ties from France. I think I have family also from what do you call this country again? Um, I can remember now, but mostly European countries. And my family was, my mom was like a very light skin. My grandmother, my dad, I mean not my dad, but my granddad, they were all very light skinned people. So that's why you see I'm
Oh
a
wow.
little like that. So yeah, it's a French name.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh. So well, what part of Haiti were you born in, and what was your childhood like over there?
Oh, I was born in Pétionville. I don't know if you've heard about. I know you said from the last conversation we had on my platform. I know you said that you were about to be deployed in Haiti, right?
I was
After
almost
the earthquake.
deployed. Well, technically, I was on the list to be deployed right after
After
the
the
earthquake.
earthquake.
That yeah,
Okay.
but
Okay.
they either they took me out at that last minute, but nobody told me anything. They just told me to pack my bags, and I was
Yeah.
waiting for
So
final word. Nobody said anything, so I never left.
yeah, that's so bad. But I mean, we get to meet each other anyway. So probably if you were in Haiti, I would have never met you. But here we are. So I was born in Port-au-Prince, not Port-au-Prince itself, but in a small suburb of Port-au-Prince, which is called Pétionville, and it's more like at the time I was born, of course, but now it's really crowded and it's more like a New York City
Mhm.
town. But at the time, it was a very dancey, quincy, a little town where gated area, where politicians, and we'll have like I don't want to say rich people, but very
Middle class.
the elite, yeah, middle class professionals. That's where they were born. That's actually where they were raising their children. So I was born there. And it was that little town where everybody knew each other. You know, we would go to school, very good school, very nice places, very good restaurants and all that. My childhood, I mean, we are, my mom has three children, but I was raised mostly with my brother. And but we were raised in a big family house, so most likely cousins and
Yeah.
things like that. So there was always something going on, fighting, happy together. You just fought with your cousin to now 15 minutes ago, and then another cousin is trying to have some go at that other cousin, and then you fighting for her that you were, what I mean.
Yeah.
The exact, I lived in a very big house and family house. So family ties are very important to me. And this is one of the issues that I have now, because with the pandemic, you're kind of living away from everybody. And that's the only part for me that is a little bit hard, because you do speak with them, but it's not the
The
same way
same, yeah.
when you were growing up in Haiti. Everybody was with each other. You were always, hanging out. But here in the US, not only you have family obligations, but also you have this pandemic that is killing all sort of ties.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit daunting. But other than that, we keep through talking each other through Facebook, Instagram and phone, of course. Trying to stay,
That's
close as we
possible.
can. Mm-hmm. And of course, my mom, she was, the pillar of the family, basically. I mean, she passed already, but she has taught us a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot. I mean, I don't think I've ever gone to sleep a day without thinking of something my mother said, or something she did, or without thinking of her, you
Yeah.
know? And I feel like we're losing those things when you are from an African country, and you understand that when you're growing up in a country like this, the way that your childhood, I mean, it's completely different from what I'm seeing here. I don't know how it was, back then here in the US. I'm sure that they had different ways of raising children now, at the time. But for me, when you're from one of those countries, there is this community, the way that you're being raised, there is a community. Everybody is looking up for each other. And that's a very nice thing. Um, and that's also what I've brought with me here in the US.
Yep. I feel you on the community thing, and I'll try and come to that later on, because I have
Mm-hmm.
a question to ask about that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but still staying with your childhood, what would you consider your favorite childhood memory? You can make it two stories if you want.
Oh, I have a lot. I actually have a lot of good memories, but hands down, going on vacation to my grandparents' house, for summertime. So every year, my mom was basically a housewife, I would say. She was not really working per se, but of course, as a woman,
Hmm.
and she would have multiple ways of earning money, cooking and things like that,
Yeah.
cleaning for other people. She was the ultimate small business woman, like the ultimate hustler. She always finds a way to, make money. But once summer comes, we are going away for at least 2 months, because at the time I was growing up, we would have 3 months vacation. But at least she would make sure that we have a month and a half or 2 months to stay with my grandmother.
So did your grandparents live in a different region or
Yes,
province?
yeah, yes, in Provence and in the southeast of Port-au-Prince,
Okay.
and it's like you're going to the back country, you know.
Mm.
So where you drink your water in a crunch, a quark, I think they call it a quark, like a ceramic quark.
Yes.
Yes. Oh my God. The good life. You would go and wash your clothes at the river. You would go wake up early in the morning, and sometimes they have to go to the plantation. They have to, get corn for the meal, for the lunch later. I mean, at the time that we were doing it, of course, as children, we were mad. But now, looking back at it, we're looking back at it. Those are the best memories,
Mm.
um, getting rides from the from the horses, things like that. Living a life where you're very close to nature.
Yeah.
You know, you get the food right from the you get the food from the
From the source.
soil.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean that's basically I would say one of my best memories.
Yeah, a lot of people who have been on the podcast tend to have best memories related to outdoors and an appreciation for something like that. And that's one reason why I love asking that question, because
Mhm.
it's something that we complained back then, but we were kids. I don't see anything wrong with that. We were kids, you know. It's
Mhm.
like now, uh, kids no kids are just kids, and kids just really want to play, and play and play and play. But with time you get to look back on certain experiences and get to realize that, okay, there was a lesson to be learned from this. There's something that I'm doing today that actually the skill started forming from certain experiences that I experienced as a kid. They started building back then, but you may not don't, because based on the way some for our educational, like I use Nigerian educational system a lot as an example. They don't use the language. There's no language for showing that your skill, you already had the skill set in you. It's like you had to go to school before you could develop a skill set, and you had to read a book. But it
Mhm.
wasn't like you were born with a skill set already. You had something in you, but from playing alone, you started showing what you were. You already started, you were nurturing something, and from those outdoor activities, there were influences that started coming to your life, which
Absolutely.
one way or the other, it stuck with you. And you may not have realized it if you never had someone to tell you, hey, this might be a path for you, or show you it will never sink, it will never be programmed into you. And then you go meet
Mhm.
another system that tells you there's only one way. So you just take that and go. And then one day you say, no, wait, 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 wait. Why? This is not working for me. And then people will say you're stupid, or people, start calling you names, and
Right.
that's how the conflict comes. But there's so many people who are not who have well, they might not be able to pass the regular educational system, but they're not stupid. They've never been close to be stupid. And
Mhm.
there's a lot of what they call it again, studies that have been done about that. And it's just from simple childhood stuff like that. We see a lot of stuff that sometimes we take it for granted. We take a whole lot of stuff, and we don't know what we've missed. We don't.
Yeah, they
So
absolutely.
yeah, it's that's
Now,
why
when
I
I
just
hear
love
people
that
talking
question.
about, hmm
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
oh yeah, now I mean, now it's really, um, people are talking about eating organic food and really in trend right now
Yeah.
to eat organic food. But we have been eating organic food for the longest time, and the craziest thing about it, I remember when I was living in Haiti, we would rather have the food from the supermarket. Supermarket is buying from the US and other countries. We would rather have those food instead of having the food from our soil, because you're considered rich when you can go and buy food from the supermarket.
Yeah.
But it's only after that you realize that, okay, the best food that I could eat was actually the corn, the breadfruit, the potato, the sweet potato from my soil, whatever my grandmother would send back to us. We didn't like it. We never liked it. Those yams where I never ate that. I'm
Yeah,
so sorry.
but if what's
Even now,
funny?
I don't
If
eat it.
but
Even now, I don't eat it. But I think I'm gonna try this year. I'm gonna
yeah,
try to be adventurous and start eating millet. Those things. I didn't like them then. I didn't like them back then. But
mm,
now, when I move here to the US, I see everybody is like running over those food. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Maybe I was really being ignorant. I was actually being very ignorant at the time. Whoever is doing this, because you are raised in a way, your society is turning you into a type of acculturation where you're looking at other people's culture and try to assimilate.
it's a programming.
What exactly? When in fact, what you have is perfect. It's only when you get out of the
There's
country that you
value in what you
realize that.
have, but you need somebody which, for all intention and purposes, it's a white man to come, or a white woman,
And
excuse
tell
me,
you
to come say,
exactly.
"Oh, what you have here is
This is
valuable,"
good.
and then everybody like, "Oh,
Mhm.
yes." Then I'm like, yeah, because your people are saying it's good. You're like, is it? But
That's so
every
true what you
but
said.
as soon
Yes.
as one white
Mhm.
woman comes, I'm like, "Oh, have you eaten this before? It's nutritious. Is this?" And they're like, white women love it. A white woman said this is good. I believe it now. Like, wait, what is that programming that made you not see that same message that's been said by everybody all this time? It's like we have this thing.
Voodoo.
We
It's
have
like
this saying
religion.
in Nigeria. It's actually when I became an adult, I realized that it was actually is part of a derogatory term. Without, because we used to use it. It used to be a joke all the time. We said made in Aba is to we just say, oh, that was made in Aba. Aba is a big it's a city in the east. Right, it's very close to Port Harcourt. Actually, before it used to be like 30 minutes drive, but with the bad roads now, I don't know how long it is from Port Harcourt to Aba. It's they have a lot of artists. Well, some manufacturing there. They make everything from belts, shoes. They can make it in
Mhm.
Aba. It's not as big as Onisha. Onisha is a larger market, probably one of the largest in West Africa. And but they can make everything, good quality leather materials, like shoes that can compete with shoes in Italy. They do it, but somewhere somehow it became made in Aba is inferior, because probably when they started it was made in Aba was tagged inferior. And one time in I think it was early 2000s, national TV had one of their news reports. They went to Aba and they showed some of the guys making leather. I know it was mostly leather products. And
Mhm.
what they would do is, and I've seen something similar here in the United States too. They will make shoes, they will make leather bags, and instead of writing made in Nigeria, they will put made in China or made in Italy, and stamp it with the Italian flag or Chinese flag on the product, so that it can sell
People.
in
Mhm.
Nigeria. Otherwise, nobody's going to put that money, because you say, it's made in Nigeria. Hell no, this
It's
made
just
made in
local.
Aba,
They don't want
made in Aba.
local. That's what's
I
happening.
wear this shoe for 2 minutes and it's gonna break under my foot.
Mhm.
But that leather is better than all this. They're importing bad quality from Italy. Now, I'm not saying the stuff in Italy. Italy has great we know that there's great quality there.
And
But
also from
the
China.
majority of the people importing from those places are not importing the best quality into your market. You know that. But
yeah, I do.
because of that language of made in Aba, which has gotten into everything, the guys who are there now know that I cannot make anything and say this is made in Aba and advertise it now and say buy. Who gonna buy? Everybody gonna, no. Everything I've heard about made in Aba is fake. Made in Aba is bad. Made in Aba is inferior. But you feel it, you see it, you see them, and they make it right in front of you. They make the shoe right there in front of you. You see the leather, everything. They show you the whole process. No. It's still fake because the programming has been put in your head for years, and it comes out with is inferior. So the person just no. But if you have made in Italy, Italian. This is what I'm talking about. How much? Made in Aba would have probably said for 1,500, but now we'll put Italian, we'll sell it for 5,000. Here you go. I'm not even going to haggle the prices because we love haggling prices. No haggling. Italian, I'm paying for Italian. It's worth the money. 5,000. There you go. 5,000. Give me. But if you say made in Aba, we have to haggle price now. I'm going to give you 900. If you want to haggle prices, I'll teach you the haggling, Nigerian style. If they say 1,500, you say 750.
Yeah, my mom taught me that.
You say what? I'm not giving 750. You turn your back. You turn your back and start leaving. Come. Give me 1,000. What? 1,000? Man, I have 800.
I'll give you 900.
No, you can't. If you said 900, I'm telling you 800. This man said, "Are you an Igbo man?" I'm not an Igbo man, but I'll give you 850. Just 15 naira. And we're gonna stand there. But it's because he said made in Aba. That's why I'm gonna be extra bold with my haggling. But if it was made in Italy, well, you don't want to be that guy saying I'm haggling Italian product. They're gonna be like, you're not ashamed of yourself. Come on, are you?
And this is where it hurts. I was thinking about this morning. This is where we hurt our countries because we don't like our countries as we should. We don't support enough, And I was thinking about Haiti today, and I was thinking and I was saying, oh my God. I mean, it's true that you're trying to find a better, better situations. You're moving to other countries for better opportunities. But what if we stayed? What if we tried to change things? What if we tried at least?
What is the definition of staying and trying? Because in some places it's easier to stay and try. In some places you have no choice. Like Nigeria right now, you have no choice in certain professions. You can't stay. You're a medical doctor, and the government is saying the minister of health is saying why are you asking for pay raise? You're asking for pay raise you're not asking to be paid at the level of doctors in the United States, or you're asking to be paid at the level of doctors in Ghana, a level of doctors in Sudan. You're not. That's where you're asking, please pay us at that level. And the minister is like, you know what? Get out of the country if
you're not happy.
If you're not happy, and over 6,000 Nigerian doctors will leave every year. Go to the UK, go to Saudi Arabia. You find Nigerians full brand new. They're gone. But if the government doesn't care about making you earn enough to survive, what are you doing staying there?
When I
had my hernia surgery in 2003, yes, end of 2002 into 2000 the end of 2003, I couldn't afford the national and federal hospitals were on strike. The doctors were on strike. So I had to go. I couldn't go to state hospital. Yeah, federal and state hospitals, doctors were on strike. So I had to go to a private hospital. The private hospital, the guy I went to, he was like, "Yeah, man, this is you need to have surgery like within 2 days. I don't know what happened to you. So you need surgery immediately. But if you don't have this amount of money, which was 40,000 naira then, which was about I think it was about let's say about $110 as an exchange rate
US
back
dollars?
then. Yeah, US dollars back then. Exchange rate was $110, about 110. Let's just estimate that. And That's what the bill he gave me. And I said, I don't have half of that. I don't even have up to half. He was like, you got to bring the whole amount of money, or I can't let you come to my hospital. Bye. So I'm walking out of the hospital and I run into my friend who sees my head down and he's like, hey, what happened, man? I say, hey, look, I just went to see this doctor, man. This is what happened to me. He said, oh, I know a doctor at this other hospital right here. He might take he will charge you lesser and he might take half up front. And we'll go talk to the doctor. He says, yeah, you need to have surgery immediately. How much do you have? I said, I only have 13,000 naira. That's what I've been able to raise right now. He said, okay, come. Can somebody get the rest for you? I said, I've talked to my brother in the United States. Said he'll try and send me something in a few days' time. He just needs a few days, but I need to have surgery right now. So
Mm-hmm.
the doctor's like, okay, with anesthesia, this is how much you pay. Without anesthesia, you pay less. So which one do you want? I'm like, man, I don't care. I just need the surgery done. I'll take without anesthesia. The biggest mistake I ever made in my life. One of the
Mm-hmm.
biggest mistakes. The guy who stole my podcast equipment is never a big mistake in my life. That surgery is the highest because the pain I went through, woo, the
You're
pain.
funny.
Look, if I don't know the pain that women go through when they're having babies, I'm not going to try
Yeah,
to
that's why
compare.
that I don't know.
But
You probably read my mind
I
because
was
I was thinking, okay, you're
I
talking
was
about pain,
screaming.
but
I
hey,
was screaming at one point, and then at one point, it's like I don't know. It felt like I was screaming, and there was nothing coming out of my mouth anymore. But all I know is that when the doctor said, "Oh, we are done. We've sold you back up. Surgery is over," they were surprised that I jumped out of the bed and ran. I took off. I took off out of the room and I ran to my resting room. I took off. That's the pain. I was like, I don't want to be in this. I don't see this surgery room anymore. Bye. They're like, how you get straight to run away? I was like, I'm running for my life. But the doctor, the guy was explaining to me later on, like, man, I wish I couldn't have even charged you for this, but he would have taken me to the federal hospital, but they didn't have money. There was stuff they were dealing with. They my friend had to bring fuel for generators because of power outage. So you have to bring standby fuel if there's power outage. And so that's just on the medical side. So there are some other things which you look at the people in these professions, it's like if you don't have the godfather backing you, people
yeah.
people say Dangote is not a poor. That guy comes from the richest family. He's the god of Nigeria. You can't go against him. You can't. No Nigerian government can even talk where he's talking. Buhari says something, they just hold Buhari's neck, put him in the pocket. That's why I don't even like that. I don't like that song. Like Burna Boy. That if I want to insult Burna Boy, that song I always used to insult him. But Burna Boy is a Port Harcourt boy, so I still forgive him at the end of the day. He didn't know
Oh,
what he
it's
was
from
doing.
Port Harcourt.
Yeah, he's a Port Harcourt boy.
I want to go to
Yeah,
Port
he
Harcourt.
keeps he sings mostly in Yoruba, so Yoruba is much more profitable to singing. I put it that way.
Okay.
But yeah, he's a Port Harcourt boy. If I had stayed in Port Harcourt longer before I left, I probably would have encountered each other, but different times, different world. But but it's
Yeah.
it just the environment is not made for you to stay right now. Like
Yeah.
I can't
Yeah.
tell anybody in Nigeria, like, you say, oh, you want to exercise freedom of speech. I just interviewed a Nigerian recently. He's in New York here, who advocates for immigrants who are from the LGBTQ, queer immigrants and LGBTQ community. And when he was talking about his experience in Nigeria, how queer Nigerians are being killed, queer Nigerians
Mm-hmm.
are being molested and treated. And I was like, it's clear. It made sense why I never saw it in the news. It made sense. But it was happening. But I recall some of it leaking out into the news, but they usually hide it. And there are certain things which, if you don't see it, you'll be like, yeah, we could have. It's so easy. I'm like, it's not easy. If you want to go stay in Lagos, Lagos now is so jam-packed. Lagos so jam-packed. I'm like, I don't like Lagos. I'm not a Lagos person. I only had to stay in Lagos because of my visa. That's the reason why. If not, I wouldn't have even come there. I don't want to mess with Lagos. No offense to
Okay.
Lagos people. I mean, they have good amala there. So, yeah, I like eating the amala. And, but, yeah, but Port Harcourt is called the Garden City. That's the nickname of Port Harcourt. Where's the garden now? Who wants to go to garden? What garden are you going to? You can't. When I was leaving, that's when kidnapping started. You know, a year or
Yeah.
two before I left, the kidnapping started, and it's not something that there are people who want to stay. There are a lot of people who want to stay, but you force them out. That's the thing. They just force them because it's working for some people. Just in the last 3 weeks, how many children have been kidnapped? When they first kidnapped those Chibok girls, I did not believe it. I said, Nigeria, they don't. It doesn't make sense that kidnapping happened. So I refuse to believe that bring back our girls. I was like, hell no, that's not possible. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not believing that nonsense. This made up conspiracy. But the more I was like, oh man, this is a new level now. This is not the Nigeria I knew anymore. It's changed now. The last 3 weeks, how many students have been
Yeah.
kidnapped in the northeast? In the southeast, they are attacking police stations. Well, you want to go say, I want to go become a policeman now? We never liked police people in the first place because they're used to oppress us, they beat us, they kill us. Doing it. If you live in the oil areas, it's a whole different treatment you get.
Yeah.
December time, you're a boy drinking beer at night time, you start watching buses coming. If you see one empty bus come, two guys jump out, setting shapes, you're gone. You just jump out the nearest fence. You start running. You don't wait for them to come. They go, hey, how are you? How much harassment can you take? That's a brand new. Because all they're doing is just round
Yeah.
all the boys, lock you up. Then you call your parents. They come and pay bail fee. They're not charging you with anything. They just lock you up for the intention of we get money from your families.
But the thing with the kidnapping, when I'm thinking about it, really, do they really kidnap you based on information that they have beforehand, or just they
That's how it
just go and
started.
kidnap you?
It started with the information. Like my aunt, who the only person in my family who's been kidnapped. It was during election season. Her husband is in the political realm, and it was. I think there was a feeling that he might run for office or not.
Okay.
I don't know. So it was within that window, and she got kidnapped. So I had a feeling like because you started seeing more
Was
of
more
that.
political.
Yeah, and then
Mm-hmm.
her stepsister, who's not really related to me, her husband is in the House of Reps, and she got kidnapped too. And then their mother got kidnapped, but it was only during election season that they've been kidnapped.
Mm-hmm. Have
So,
they been released
oh, they've been
or?
they've been really they paid ransom.
Mm,
They,
okay.
they,
So the thing in Haiti, when you're kidnapped, there's a high chance for you not to be released. They just kill you. So
that
that's
happens
the
too in
biggest.
Nigeria for some people.
Mm-hmm.
Like before all these kidnappings became a thing in Nigeria, like if we're like that's why it was common for people, going back home. Like I grew up in Benin City before. That's the city I've lived the longest in before I moved into other places. But Benin City, the people of Benin, they travel a lot. They're like the number one travelers of Nigeria. So if someone was coming home from wherever they were in the world, they don't tell the people their family. They don't even tell them that they're coming, because there were stories of someone saying, "Hey, I'm coming," and then
And then
family, "Hey, my Pekin here is coming. Oh, come and drink, come and drink," and then the child will arrive Monday, Tuesday night, robbery. Or that Monday
uh,
night, some men show up, lock everybody up,
knock
tie
knock.
everybody up, take all the
Mm,
dollars, take all the gifts, and then police will come. That's when police do their real job, actually. Round the whole family, well, probably torture some people, but information will now leak that, oh, I went and told this one. What did you tell? I told this person, and then this person told this person, and then you told this group, and then, okay, we'll give you a court. Tell us what time he'll be at home. And then that's
mm,
how. And so stories last started spreading, and then before you knew it, when my mom first went to my mom went to Denmark one time. I didn't know the day my mom left. All I knew was that my mom left. I went to school, came back, my mom was gone. They're like, oh yeah, yeah, mommy left. They're like the oldest people in the house knew. And then the day she was coming back, I didn't know she was coming back that day either. Only like maybe one person in the house knew. And then she arrived. Hey, mommy is home. But that's how it started going. The habit started forming. By the time I was in the US, last time I went to Nigeria, they were like, hey, people were like, please take gifts for me, for my family, take stuff for me, for my family. But only their family who were coming to meet me at the airport were supposed to know that I'm coming. My own family didn't know I was coming to Nigeria because you don't want to start announcing to people. Even though I wasn't going to Port Harcourt, I wasn't going to Lagos, I was going to Abuja. But you don't want to still tell people because you start telling everybody, then it's like you don't know who's going to tell who, and everybody start becoming paranoid.
I understand that. We do the same in Haiti. We actually do not, say anything about us coming to the country, just, as a precaution, because you don't know who will hear about the information and start trying to hurt you.
Yeah.
Basically, we do the same.
So it's unfortunate, but the official kidnapping in the Port Harcourt area that started spreading and then became national, it began as part of our agitation. I say our because I'm from Niger Delta. The guys who did the kidnapping, we knew them, and they were agitating for the communities against the oil companies. That's why they started kidnapping oil workers. It started with that. But now there was a difference of oil workers. They weren't just kidnapping any oil worker. They were kidnapping Americans, British, EU passport holders. So they had information on people in the companies who will leak it out to them, and they'll go grab those guys. Then the oil companies started removing those staff, moving them to Lagos, and take them out of those of Niger Delta areas. And then that's when we started realizing that there were a whole lot of people working in Nigeria from countries like Kazakhstan, a whole bunch of places you don't expect to hear, but there were professionals getting paid more than Nigerians in Nigeria.
Yeah.
They started kidnapping everybody. That's how the kidnapping spread, because you hear that, they kidnapped somebody from Kazakhstan, they kidnapped somebody from Uzbekistan, they kidnapped somebody from Chechnya. Like, wait, how's somebody from? Where are all these people from? What? How are they in Nigeria? Like, what? Wait, what? And then the moment it started spreading to all the other nationalities, then it got to the stage where it was like, I guess, a lot of people were like, you know what? I don't need to be an armed robber. This is good business. I don't need to shoot anybody. If I can just grab somebody with money, the family will pay. And the next thing, one chief has been kidnapped, pay ransom. And the next thing, they tried to kidnap one former general. They forgot that his title said former general, so retired general. The man had a gun on him, so he was able to kill his kidnappers. But it just started spreading from there because it became an industry. And then by the time Boko Haram officially came on the scene, they just took it to but Boko Haram makes money off it.
So it started with Boko Haram?
No, it started from Niger Delta with the Niger Delta. They call us Niger Delta militants, but those are the guys fighting against the oil companies for pollution of the oil producing regions, which is in the Niger Delta. So it started. It started with a good cause.
Yeah.
And then everybody jumped in. I was like, hey, it's money here. Let me get money too. Let me get money. Everybody, let me get money. And then it just blew up into. And then by the time Boko Haram came in the north, slightly different region, Boko Haram were like, yes, we're gonna take this to a whole new level. Take all the school kids. And they took school kids and
that was terrible.
They just blew up. And now Boko Haram is like they've actually reduced the bombings they do. They're just kidnapping kids, and they make money off it. They make money off it. It's big money they're getting.
And they people like that, they're also searching for power. Somehow they are being talked about. They are, whatever they're doing is, has a very international coverage.
Yes.
They're in the news, and they like that. They feel powerful.
Yeah, it's a strategy.
Exactly.
Yeah. But anyway, we spent a lot of time on that. Let's come back to you.
It's almost time.
before we have to come back to you being in the United States. Before we jump to you in the United States, let's take a quick break, and we shall come back with your American experience and journey. Hi everyone, your host Raphael Harry here. I can't believe we've gone past our 1-year anniversary of doing White Label American. I've had the privilege of speaking with some amazing people, sharing their modern day immigrant stories. And you've allowed this Nigerian immigrant to share parts of his immigrant journey through this podcast. Also, one of my goals of this podcast is breaking down artificial walls that keep people from getting to understand each other. Based on your wonderful feedback over the last year, I think we have done a decent job in breaking down some of those walls. We would like to continue and expand on this mission, but we need your help. I've had an amazing time creating and producing episodes for this show largely on my own. We have a lot of ideas for new and exciting content to expand upon the mission, but we need direct support from you, our listeners, which is why we have created a White Label American Patreon page where you can make a one-time donation or become a sustaining contributor where you can get access to exclusive content, help me interview upcoming guests by submitting questions, and even have the chance to sit down with me for a one-on-one conversation, either virtually or in studio. So if this podcast means something to you, and if you really love this show, think about becoming a sustaining contributor and donating by going to patreon.com/whitelabelamericanpod. Thanks for listening and for the privilege of your company. Alrighty, so we are back, and welcome back, everyone. So, Marie, you decided to leave Haiti, and I know I skipped over a lot in Haiti because we jumped into a whole different topic, but it's all good. It's all part of the conversation. And
Yes.
you moved to United States, and was New York your first port of call in the United States?
Actually, I moved to the US in a very hard situation. It was after the earthquake.
Okay.
So after the earthquake, I was able to quickly go to the Dominican Republic, and I stayed there for a week.
Mm-hmm.
From there, we made arrangements for us to because I was with my son, so we stayed. I mean, from there we took a plane. After a week, we took a plane to Miami, where I stayed for a day or two, and then I moved here to the U.S. to New York City. So I've been in New York, not New York City, New York State, because I moved to upstate New York, and I stayed there for approximately 8, 9 years.
Okay.
And I have recently moved to New York City.
So New York was always the plan for you when
New
you when
York,
you decided to leave Haiti.
yeah, New York was always the plan. Although I have people in other parts of the U.S., but I absolutely.
Was there a
And
particular reason for New York?
the reason I chose New York is because I had ties with an organization. I was working for them at the time.
Okay.
As a volunteer. They were trying to implement their their nonprofit organization in Haiti, and I was working on that project for them. So at the time, when the earthquake happened, I felt like it was the best place for me to be, so I could have continue working for my Haitian people, like just because the organization, when the earthquake happened, was very active and sending things out in Haiti,
Yeah.
helping out. So at the time, I felt like, okay, being here in New York would help me support my Haitians better than going to other places, because I was already working with that organization, and I think it was the best thing for me at the time. Yeah.
Good.
So when we got here, of course, they handle everything for myself and my son. They got us, help, school for my son, houses. I mean, shelter for myself, and until I could find my way by
Good.
myself.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I know a lot of Haitians are also in Florida, and so
Yeah.
like between Florida and New York, which has the largest Haitian community?
That's a good question. I would say I don't know about Florida because I don't really know the Haitian demographic there, but I know that the place where I stayed in New York, upstate New York, it is in Spring Valley. You probably heard about it.
Yes.
There's probably a lot of Nigerian Africans there too.
Wow, I
There's a
never thought about.
large, yes. There's
I've
a
heard the name. I
large,
just never realized that there might be
yeah. I stayed in
Africans.
Spring Valley and there's
Oh,
a large Haitian community there.
oh,
Yeah.
okay. Spring Valley. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you chose New York because New York. Yeah, I love New York, so I'm biased.
Oh, I love New York. I love it. I love New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I've
another
seen.
thing that I love about you is that you when it comes to languages, you speak a whole bunch of languages, and uh, were you speaking all those languages before you arrived in New York, or did you pick any other language in New York?
No, actually, I've spoken all my languages back from home.
Okay.
So, you're Haitian. My mother did not really go to school other than the basics. So she didn't speak French, but she made sure that we were well educated. At home, we spoke Creole, like talking with my mother. I speak Creole, but with other people in my family, remember I told you that we grew up in a big house. So there were
Yes.
other people that would other members of the family that would speak French. So we would make sure that we keep speaking the little French that we know,
Mm-hmm.
just so that we practice. And at the time I was growing up, schools were very, very, you had very good, the education in Haiti was very good. So, and the schools I would go to, which were private schools, you have a French education, books are in French, you speak French. From the recess, from recess to classrooms, you speak French. You would only speak Creole when you're home
Mm.
or when you're sitting with your little friends. Like we're talking, like small little conversations with friends. You would speak Creole, but not necessarily. Now the English part, as I was growing up and members of my family were traveling and then they would come back with Michael Jackson songs, and at the time, Prince and those people. So they would come up with, they call them cassette,
Yeah,
VHS.
VHS. Yes,
Yeah.
I remember those.
So,
Rewinding
yeah.
them is a
So,
skill.
yes, yes. They would be dancing to those songs. So now you start singing, and I love languages. So while you're talking, while you're singing, you're trying to understand what people are saying too. So that's when I started, searching. I got myself like a French English dictionary and, trying to translate and words by words. And then, you trying to grow your vocabulary. But I really started learning English when I went to school for my secretary degree. Not degree, but it's like an associate,
Diploma.
yeah, diploma. And I had that English French education there.
Okay, so that's
So
when you had the formal education.
yes,
But you had
that's
already been
where I
teaching
had that.
yourself English before before you?
No, I mean, I was speaking English way before I studied
Yeah,
that
no, that's what
in
I'm saying.
secondary, that school. But the
So
formal, like you said, the
yeah,
formal education, I got it there where I can say, okay, I do speak English, you
yeah. So
know.
because I was going to ask because you by you already teaching yourself English
Mm-hmm.
up, but when you went for the formal education,
Mm-hmm.
that did that help you when you went for that? Did it make it easier for you to learn whatever you were taught for the
I mean, the
diploma?
thing with me, I don't know. I think there's a dyslexia. No, I don't. I think there's a way for people. There's a way to say that. The thing with me, I write better than I speak,
Yes.
and it's only now that I really am trying to work on it because with the immigration platform, I feel like I have to grow because when you are bringing a certain caliber of people to your platform, you want to be on that level with them
Mm.
and be able to communicate. And I need that elocution where I should be able to speak English properly. And that's where I feel like I'm stepping up right now. But to come back to your question, um, I do speak, when I speak all those languages, I speak a little Spanish too, by the
I was
way.
going to ask. I was going to be surprised if you did not speak Spanish
Yeah,
because
I speak a
French
little
and
Spanish
Spanish,
too
it's
because it's right across.
yeah, they're
But
cousins.
yes, yes. So I speak all those languages, but it's a journey. You always trying to better yourself a certain way, and that's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, and your English is great. Trust me, your English is
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
I've regressed in my English, and I know
Thank
why.
you.
For me, it was Navy. Someone told me that when I joined the
It
Navy, and
was the Navy that
yeah,
helped you.
no, hell no, it regressed my English
and
actually.
and you know what, when I mean, I speak more fluently than when I was living in Spring Valley, because influences, when you are with your Haitian people, you speak Creole all the time.
Hmm.
So, but when I'm at work, I speak English. But now it's mostly English, and I feel like it's getting there. Better. The flow is better than like 2 or 3 years before.
Trust me, you are doing a fantastic job. There's no time I've tuned into your videos that I've felt like, oh, this woman's English puts me off. Or no, you're not in that category. Or I felt like you do not you're not at the level of your guest because yeah, you do a fantastic job for someone
Thank
who
you.
uh someone like myself who was like English, who push it in our
Mm-hmm.
society, Nigerian society. Yeah, yeah. Trust me, you are far better. You're
Yeah.
far better. So don't
And
don't
then
don't
when I
don't be hard on yourself. You're doing a
thank you.
fantastic job.
Yeah.
You have not limited yourself to being one to staying in one place and I
Mm-hmm.
don't mean that literally or physically, but as a person in growing as a person in growing emotionally
Mm-hmm.
and in helping others to grow. And
Yeah.
that's one thing I love about your platform because your platform, I get it with we wanting to just show the success stories, but there's a whole lot of things that we masquerade in just saying, "Oh, immigrants, we are so successful, immigrants." That's why I don't really broadcast that Nigerians have the degrees. Nigerians are the immigrants with the highest number of degrees in America. I don't broadcast that because, like you mentioned, the struggles a whole lot of people going through, like the ones who like I've never heard a story of a woman filing for a man and the man being abused when he comes over, but I've heard of the women who came over and the
Mm-hmm.
men abused
Mm-hmm.
them. I've heard that a lot in the Nigerian Ghanaian community. I've heard a whole bunch of stories, and it's like people don't want to talk about. We don't want to acknowledge it, but it happens. And I'm like, we need to
It
keep
does.
saying it. And I know someone. I know a man who, until he told me of his experience, I've been trying to get him on the podcast, but he feels he's not. He hasn't made it in life yet, so he can't come. But until he told me about, he got a green card back when Nigeria qualified for green card, and we got our visa on the same day. And he arrived, but he didn't know anybody. So in America, he had nobody in America. So under the system, you can they will pick somebody from your country, and they get tax incentives to accept somebody coming from the country similar to you. And if you agree to host the person, then you get tax incentives. And I wasn't aware of all that until he started telling me this. And he ended up staying with his family in New York because he's in New York here. And they made life hell for him. He's brand new in America. They were charging him bills. He just arrived. He has no
Mm-hmm.
job. The same thing with like water usage, all this. So after like 6 months, this guy called the police. He he didn't know. He just out of frustration, he just called the police. Like he didn't understand what was happening. This now he just didn't understand it. So he said he called the police. So by the time he called me and was telling me all this, he was in a shelter because police asked him, "Do you want to press charges?" Because police, when they saw his living conditions, they said this was the equivalent of human trafficking. So they will have to arrest the family and press charges. And he said, as a Nigerian, he didn't want to press charges against another Nigerian family. So just get me out of here. If you people can take me out of the house, I'll find my way.
Mm-hmm.
And they said the only thing they could do for him was put him in a shelter. And he said he will manage that. Now he has
Yeah.
a master's degree. He's bounced back, but uh, until he told me, I never knew something like that existed. I just thought, oh, you come,
Yeah,
it's smooth sailing.
there's a lot of
But
this going
if
on.
people
Mm-hmm.
don't talk about that, another person will fall into that trap too and say, oh, there's a Nigerian family who I've never heard of. I don't know them, but they are willing to accept me. And then they abuse you. And then we hear on the news, Nigerians get arrested. They're like, why they get arrested? This person is
There's
wicked
also
because
the
we
way that
blame the
they.
person who reports. That's how it's been framed in Nigeria sometimes. Like the person who reports,
Mm-hmm.
you're ungrateful. They brought you, they hosted you in America, and then, but you don't know the
And they
details.
threaten you. Listen,
Hmm.
Rafa. They threaten you. They threaten to have you deported.
Yes, yes,
But this is actually, now that I'm mingling with immigration lawyers, this is actually, if people knew, once you
exactly. If
tell
people knew.
somebody
Hmm.
that I will get you deported, that person, you should never say that to someone
True.
when you know their immigration, situation, because that only word can be taken against you.
And that's why
Okay,
we need to get more
educate,
people to talk, and
educate.
we need to educate and put it out there, because the more people know you have the power that you have, you won't
Mm-hmm.
they won't have power over you, because the people doing this believe that they have power over the victims. So as far as the dynamic keeps working that way, they feel that they have all the information to themselves, and the victims don't have any information on their side. They will keep abusing you. But until the victim realizes that I have power. If you're in New York area, New York has great human rights fight. Like the government of New York City will come. New York City is great for that, fighting something like that. So you have so much in your corner. But if you don't know, it's like me when I moved to New York, and I'm trying to find an apartment, and landlords were discriminating against me. Even though I had money, I had everything. My credit is great, but I didn't know that I could just call the Human Rights Commission of New York, because my ignorant self, I was just angry. I go find it.
Mm-hmm.
But all I had to do was just call the Human Rights Commission, look at what's happening, and they would have gone after those landlords. It was
Mm-hmm.
like 3 years later I found out, and I was like, wow, man.
Yeah.
So, but that's why our platforms exist. And oh, by the way, congratulations on your 1 year anniversary. It's not many people start stuff like this are able to, they give up after a few weeks. It's not easy. It's not easy
No,
job,
it's not
but
easy at
uh,
all. It's
you
not
you
easy
you
because
keep shining the light. You've not given up, and I admire you for that. So yeah, thank you for your great work you're doing. Yeah.
Thank you, Rafa. I will be going live tomorrow at 5 p.m. Usually I would go live on Saturdays for the immigration platform and on Sundays, every third Sunday of the month for the cooking show. I had introduced the cooking
Yes,
show,
yes. I haven't
Immigrants
been able to
Cooking.
catch the cooking show. Unfortunately, it falls
Mhm.
at I either have something going on in anytime. I
Yeah.
plan to catch it one day. I plan to catch
Yeah,
it one day.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So tomorrow I'm going live for a small celebration. I didn't want the day to go by without really marking it. So I don't know yet what I'm doing, but I'm going live at 5 tomorrow for to celebrate the platform. So whatever we can do, if you can stop by, it would be nice.
I'll try
But you
to.
can always catch it, later on the page.
I'll most definitely try to jump in at least to come sing happy birthday. Yeah. Or happy anniversary.
Yeah.
Whichever, yeah, happy anniversary. So I have to start wrapping up. We went a little bit longer than expected, and I thank you for giving me your time. But I have to ask three quick questions. So
Sure.
first one, I know you're a fun person, and you also got the groove in you going on. So if you need, which artist can keep you dancing for at least, if you want to dance for an hour, you're into exercising now, so dancing is exercise also. So if you need to dance for an hour, name your three go-to artists that can keep you dancing.
Hands down, hands down, hands down. Afrobeats. I have Naira Marley. I have Mayor Kun. I have. You want me to cite them?
Yeah,
I
give
have
one more.
Mayor Kun. I have, yeah. What is his name again? I love Bernard Boy. I feel like he sings like he has this maturity in his voice. I have, what is Ricardo?
Oh, Ricardo Banks.
Yeah.
Naira Mali is he is some that guy is. Ooh, that
Naira,
guy,
my
he's a guy
Naira
of the
is,
streets. He reminds me
yes,
of this.
he's
There's
a
one
bad
musician
boy.
from the Yoruba side.
Naira
Obesere.
is a
He
bad
reminds me of
boy.
Obesere. Obesere is that's the real bad boy now. Obesere is a bad boy because his videos. I don't think you would touch Obesere's video if you see Obesere's videos. But Obesere, there's nowhere in Western Nigeria Obesere will go to that the street urchins. You cannot touch Obesere. Back when Obesere was on top, you couldn't touch him because anywhere it comes out, all the boys on the street, all the street, what is considered the street thugs, they will come out. Obesere is our man. They will just yeah. That is. I see Naira Mali. I see that effect with Naira Mali, and it's beautiful to see because the people just the people at the bottom, they just that's their man. They associate with him. They just say this is our man. And once they crown you like that, it's like he can walk on the streets. They'll just be
Mhm.
you can't touch him. That's why when the government went after him, I was like, you're wasting your time. You're wasting your time. This guy, you're wasting your time. You're only making him
and
more popular. You're making him,
and Rafa,
uh,
since I'm Haitian, I don't want to have any issues with my Haitian
yeah, I was
people
going.
listening right
I was
now.
going to say, hey, don't come after me.
Definitely Sweet Mickey,
Sweet Mickey. Oh,
Sweet
I've never
Mickey.
heard. I've never heard that one. I'll add that to my playlist now.
Sweet Mickey was the president. He was the president, but before
Oh,
being a president,
oh,
yeah, he was
wait,
an
wait. Okay, I think
artist.
I've heard. Wait, what's up with the so? No, so that's why Wyclef thought he had a chance.
Exactly.
Ah, okay. I don't blame Wyclef. Now I thought it was because Wyclef sang that. If I was president, that's why he wanted. I was like, you said if I was. I don't think you are president, but okay. Well. Well,
Okay.
we love Wyclef in Nigeria though.
Oh,
Wyclef, oh,
okay.
he's mad popular there. He's that from the Fugees into his album. We all had his
Oh, that's
CDs.
good to know.
I had his first what's that CD called again? His first CD. I don't know about later on, but his first CD I had it. With
Okay.
Diallo. Oh man, we used to sing that. I still sing that song from beginning to the end.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
that's
That's good to know.
yeah. All right, and food question. Now, uh, you're in New York City. We have so much food here. Well, yeah, cuisine. What's your favorite cuisine? What
Haitian food.
Asian
Haitian
food?
food,
Okay.
hands down.
All right. Well, so give me a name. Give me a name. What's something that you say I
Oh,
should try? What would
I'm
you? recommend I
Oh,
eat?
okay. Look, you can try the basic like
I'm not a
griot,
busy guy. I'm
casserole.
not a busy guy. Ah, you want me to turn full Nigeria? I say, I'm not a busy. Give me something that is at the top. Madam, give me something at the top.
Okay. Okay. So you can have some Jiria legume.
The name alone makes me already salivating now. Maybe I should have stayed with basic.
You funny. I can. Okay.
I like that. I
Mhm.
like that. What's that made with?
Huh?
What's that made of?
Oh, the legume you have. I think you have those also in your cuisine. You have amala. Amala is this type of legume. It's like a concoction of veggies, and then you mash them, and then you add meat.
Oh, okay.
What is amala actually for you
Amala
guys?
is the is like black or gray. It's probably grayish looking dough. But use it to eat.
Oh,
Preferably, I prefer it with a wedu and stew. So it's from
okay.
Yoruba
Okay. So
people. But
so it's
it's,
the
you've
soup.
seen our fufu. You've seen fufu that we eat. Fufu that we eat
Mm-hmm.
with different
Mm-hmm.
stew like a goosey, peanut stew.
Yeah.
So amala is like instead of eating pounded yam or the fufu amala,
Mm-hmm.
you eat amala is lighter
Mm-hmm.
than pounded yam or
Okay.
regular fufu. It's very
Okay,
light.
so our legume is what you would call the stew for yourself. We have
Okay.
different veggies that and then different meat
Yeah.
that we can do, but we mash them. We
Oh.
mash.
So
I don't
including
think
the,
you
the
do.
meat.
No, not the meat,
Okay, just the
not the meat.
veggies.
The veggies. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. That's
Mm-hmm.
that's what I'm not used to. Maybe northern Nigeria might have something similar to the mashed
Mm-hmm.
veggies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because
Mm-hmm.
northern Nigeria has a few cuisine that I've not. The drinks from northern Nigeria is what the liquid cuisine. That's what I've had. I remember having, but I don't remember most of their the main cuisine that you eat. Yeah, that's what I don't remember.
Yeah.
I'll have to ask
I
one of
think
my friends from there.
you live in Brooklyn. There is a Haitian restaurant in Brooklyn called Zami. Actually, I was supposed to go there for the weekend. Zami, I'll send you the link. I'll send you the
Okay, yeah,
link
send
so
me
you
the
can
link.
go and visit them. Mm-hmm.
If they deliver, I'll just order from them too.
Yeah.
Bring it to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Alrighty. Okay, so final question. What would you like to leave the audience with? Could be a quote, could be a quote from a book you've read, could be a line from one of your favorite artists or songs, it could be a mantra that you live by.
Positivity. I feel like I have been um living by positivity in my life for the last 2 3 years, and it really has helped me grow a lot. And don't don't sweat the small stuff,
Mm,
you know sometimes or people say choose your battle.
mm,
There are things that really are not that important to give it fire. you
yeah,
know Keep your positivity and make sure that you live that best life that you've always wanted.
all right. Love that.
Yeah.
Where can people find you? And for those who want to get in touch with your amazing show.
Oh, thank you for that question. Yes, people can definitely find me on Instagram. That's my major platform. I try not to go anywhere else. So, um, there you can have access to all my videos. I post mostly at least 3 times a week, post pictures. I keep myself very active on Instagram, and the handle to look for is I am Valerie Placide. So I will be very happy to welcome any of you. Please come around and show love, show support. And if anyone is interested and sharing their own immigration stories, do not hesitate to contact me, DM me. I mean, I'm not really formal. If you DM me and tell me, hey, I'd like to share my story, I will take it from there with you.
Awesome. And
Mm-hmm.
yes, keep the love coming in, and trust me, Marie will respond
Yeah.
to you. She's great people, and yeah, as far as you are not some rude person, she respond to you. All right. Yeah. We're all about love and positivity here. So
Yes.
Umbana Marie, that's how I say thank you in my language. Umbana.
Umbana.
Yes.
Okay.
And appreciate you always. And to the audience, thank you all for joining us. Don't forget to come back next week for the next episode, and keep the love coming in, keep the 5 stars coming in. Join us on Patreon if you can. All right. Thank you for the privilege of your company. Thanks for listening to White Label American. If you enjoyed the show, we'll appreciate if you rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast wherever you get your podcast from. If you have any questions, comments, or have someone who will be a good guest on the show, or you want to be on the show, send us a message at whitelabelamerican@gmail.com. And make sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at White Label American. Thank you for your support.